Alright, let's talk about something that so many players ask me, how to sell Mandel Brick in Delta Force Mobile. And more importantly, why your Mandel Brick probably aren't getting sold. I'll walk you through everything step by step, no shortcuts, and explain it all in a way that even if you're new to the game, you'll fully get it by the end of the video. So first things first, let's clear this up. Mandel Bricks are not rare. I know there are videos floating around saying they are some kind of high tier currency and you should always list them at max price. But honestly, that's just not true anymore. Maybe it worked in the early days, but right now these bricks are actually pretty easy to get. You can earn them consistently in both warfare and operations modes. And with the new update, the game lets you earn up to 4 Mandel bricks per week just by placing in the top 25% of players. That's not top 1%, not top 10%, top 25%. Pretty doable, right? And now that everyone's getting these bricks every week, naturally the supply has gone up, so the value is going down. That's why you see so many listings in the market just sitting there unsold. People are still pricing them at max thinking they're ultra rare. But the truth is, if you're pricing your brick too high, you're just going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. Now that we've talked about what Mandel bricks are and why they're not as rare as people think, let's get into the part you actually came here for. How to sell them, and more importantly, where to even find this selling menu inside Delta Force Mobile. So from your main lobby, just look towards the top of your screen. You'll see this little icon that says market. Tap on that and it'll take you into the new interface. Once you're inside the market, you'll notice two different menus. There's the top bar with trade and record options, and then there's a sidebar with 3 sections you need to focus on. First one, Mandel Bricks. This is where you'll see all currently listed Mandel Bricks. Next up is the Deluxe Skin section. It contains all draws you get when you open the Mandel Bricks. And then we have the Deluxe Champs, which are from the Tour Brick collection. These are more niche and mostly cosmetic, but some players like to collect or trade them depending on their rarity. We'll come back to those in another guide if you're interested. Now back to selling Mandel Bricks. Go into the trade section under Mandel Bricks and you'll see a split between the current season's bricks and previous season bricks. Tap on either one depending on what you've got in your inventory. As soon as you tap a brick, it's gonna show you two very important numbers, the average price and the lowest price. These are the prices that are currently active in the market. If you're trying to sell yours quickly, you'll want to undercut slightly below the average, otherwise you'll just be sitting in queue. Now when you open up the purchase or sell menu for Mandel Bricks, you'll notice that both have the same core layout, and this is where most players get tripped up. Trust me, I've had tons of DMs from people saying, bro, why isn't my brick selling? And the answer almost always comes down to misunderstanding these two numbers right here. You're gonna see two prices, one labeled average price and the other called suggested unit price. And yeah, they sound similar, but they're completely different in how they actually work. So let me break it down. The average price is the lowest price you can currently buy that Mandel brick for. In other words, it's what people are actually willing to pay right now. Think of it as the real-time market rate. This is the number that's moving up and down based on what other players are doing in the market. Now the other number, suggested unit price, is where the game tries to give you a ballpark of how much the item could be worth. But here's the thing, nobody's buying bricks at that price. Like, it's the max cap, the top end valuation that barely anyone actually uses. If you list your Mandel brick at the suggested price, it's just gonna sit there for days, maybe weeks, and it'll probably never sell. So if you've been blindly setting your price to whatever the suggested value says, that's why it's not selling. You've got to be smarter than that. Never use the suggested price as your selling price. Instead, go a little under the current average if you want a quick sale, or just match the lowest price if you're okay waiting a little longer. But setting it at the highest suggested price, yeah, that's basically you saying I don't really want to sell this. So now that you hopefully understand how not to mess up pricing your Mandel bricks, let me walk you through how the market itself actually works. Now everything I'm about to say is based on my own understanding and experience. I'm not a dev or economist, but I've spent enough time here to figure out the basics. So take it like we're just two players having a chat. Let's say in a typical mobile game, you want to buy a skin. What do? You buy some coins, maybe with your real money, and then just use those coins to grab whatever skin is in the store. Now let's flip it around. Say I'm the developer and I put a skin up in the store for say 800 in-game coins. You, the player, just pay that amount and boom, it's yours. It's a one-way transaction. That's how most games do it. But here's where Delta Force Mobile flips the script completely. In most games, like I said, you buy coins, then buy your favorite skin straight up. Simple. But in Delta Force, nah, they added this extra mechanic, and honestly, it's kind of genius when you think about it. See, you don't just buy the skin directly. If you want one of those deluxe skins, you're gonna need two things, a Mandel Brick and a deluxe key. And here's the twist. You don't always have to pay for both. The devs actually designed it so free-to-play players can grind and earn Mandel Bricks just by playing, especially if you land in the top squads weekly. So technically, you could get the bricks without spending a dollar, but what if you don't have time to grind and you just want that deluxe skin right now? That's where things get interesting, because now the market system comes into play. Let's take that same example again. Me as the developer, you as the buyer. You drop real world money and I give you Delta coins. That's standard. But now instead of selling you the Mandel Brick directly, I tell you, hey, you can get deluxe keys from me, sure, but if you want Mandel Bricks, go to the market. The market becomes the middleman. It's like my buddy Boom. He's not me, but he's allowed to make trades on my behalf. So you go to the market and buy the Mandel Brick not from the game but from another player, someone who earned it through grinding and listed it for sale. Now I, as the dev, still get my small cut from the trade, maybe a percentage of the Delta tickets used, but the player who grinded the brick, they just earned in-game currency by selling something they got for free through gameplay. It's like a player economy and both sides win. That's also why the price keeps changing. The more people listing Mandel Bricks, the cheaper they get. If nobody's selling, price goes up. It's literally supply and demand, just like a real world market. So don't get confused. You're not buying Mandel Bricks directly from the developer. You're buying them from the community through a system built to reward grinders and offer convenience to spenders. And that's why the market matters so much. So now that you've wrapped your head around how the system works, let's get to the part everyone's really here for: how to sell your Mandel Bricks. To sell your Mandel Brick, head over to the market tab in the main lobby. Find the Mandel Brick you want to sell. It'll be listed under its specific season or series, and tap on the list button next to it. Once you do that, the selling market menu will pop up. And this screen, yeah, it can look confusing if you're new, but don't worry, I'll break it down piece by piece so you don't mess it up. At the top, you'll see things like the average price, which is the price most buyers are currently paying. Then there's pending orders. That just means other players who are already trying to sell the same brick as you. So if you see 80 pending orders, just know you're not alone in the queue. You'll also see the name of the Mandel Brick and how many slots it takes. Then comes days listed. This just means how long your Mandel Brick will stay up for sale in the market. You can choose 1, 2 or 3 days max. If it doesn't sell in that time, it'll expire and return to your inventory. Now here's the tricky part: suggested price. This is often misleading, especially for new players. It's usually way higher than what anyone is actually paying. Like I said earlier, just because it's the suggested price doesn't mean it's the smart price. If you list it at that number, your brick will sit there gathering dust. No one's going to buy it. What you want to look at instead is the graph just below. This thing is gold. The graph shows you how many Mandel bricks are being listed at each price point. On the y-axis, you'll see the number of listings, how many bricks are listed at that price. On the x-axis, it shows the actual price. Let's say you see a tall spike at 45 Mandel coins. That means a bunch of people have listed their Mandel brick at that price. If you list yours at 45 too, you'll be in a big line and it might take a while to sell. But if you list it slightly lower, say 43 or 44, your listing will be higher up in the queue and you've got a better shot at selling faster. So yeah, selling isn't just clicking list and hoping for the best. You gotta watch the market, read the graph, and set a price that actually makes sense. Alright, so right now I'm listing the Spectrum Blitz Mandel Brick, and yeah, the system shows it cost me around 40 Mandel coins, which remember is a 1-to-1 ratio with Delta coins. But take a look at this. The suggested price is saying I could sell it for 3000 Delta tickets. Sounds insane, right? Like I just turned 40 into 3000 overnight. Let me just click list, go take a nap, and dream of unlocking every skin in the game. That right there is the biggest mistake most players make. Then you come to my DMs or comments like, bro, my Mandel Brick won't sell. Is the market broken? Nah, the market isn't broken. You just priced it like you were selling gold-plated bricks to millionaires. And here's what you need to understand. You're not selling to the game. You're selling to real players who also want the best deal. And let's be honest, would you buy something for 3000 when you could get it for 45? Exactly. So let me paint the picture for you. If I am listing my Mandel Brick like a normal human at 45 to 50 Delta coins, and then someone else comes in and lists it at the suggested price of 3000, tell me, when the buyer shows up, who's he buying from? Yeah, that guy's gonna be staring at his pending sale for days, weeks, maybe till season 9. So if you're planning to sell your Mandel Brick, the best strategy is to price it as close as possible to the average price. or somewhere between the average and the lowest current listing. Now if you're just trying to get rid of it and get a few delta tickets quickly, no drama. Just sell it at the lowest price listed. Simple and quick. Now here's the big question I get a lot. Bro, I listed my Mandel Brick, but I can't find it anymore. It's not even in my inventory. And the answer is, check the record menu. Tap on that and you'll see a full record of your sales, purchases and listings. Once your brick is up on the market, it's listed here. If someone buys it, you'll get a mail notification with your earnings. If nobody buys it, don't worry. It'll show up as expired and you can relist it from there. But keep this in mind, once you've listed it, you can't remove or change it for at least 10 minutes. After that, feel free to adjust the price if the market is shifting or someone undercut you. Now moving on to purchasing Mandel Bricks, this part is pretty simple. Just head back to the market, check the prices, and if there's a low price Mandel Brick, the system will auto-pick the cheapest one for you. It saves a ton of time because you don't have to scroll endlessly. Just tap purchase and yes, you've got your brick. I've tried my best to break everything down as clearly as possible. Just remember this, your Mandel Brick is like your own little shop. You decide the price, but if you overprice it thinking someone will magically buy it, you're just gonna be watching that listing rot away for days. Don't get greedy. Selling 10 bricks at 500 is way better than selling 0 at 3000. And yeah, there is a way to manipulate the market a little if you know what you're doing. But hey, maybe that trick stays buried here, safe on my channel. If you want me to drop a separate video about that trick, let me know in the comments below. If this helped you, smash that like, share it with your squad, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.